I narrowed my eyes. It wasn't the first time I'd received a poorly coded request to kill someone, though most managed the innuendo with more grace. To be fair, a man with my skill set probably shouldn't have been surprised when others assumed he accepted such contracts, particularly with a warlock at his hip. And, in all honesty, I had been paid to find people before, and I am quite good at shooting people. I just refused to accept jobs where one was required immediately after the other. Maybe that moral distinction seems silly to you, but finding lines like that has been one of the few things that kept me feeling human. So, while it's true I won't blink to shoot someone if they put me, or anyone who's paying me, in mortal danger, I will never accept money to hunt someone with the purpose of pulling the trigger. I think you're confused, I growled. Sure, I could have explained my intricate morality to the man, but I didn't feel like entertaining any further conversation. I started to stand when the little man grabbed my arm from across the table. "Do not walk away from me, contract hunter," he snapped. "Just tell me what it will cost." I already disliked the man. His sudden insistence only intensified the feeling. When the managers of a corp world thought they had the right to treat anyone who walked on it as corporate property just because they were the largest outfit on a planet, that annoyed me, almost as much as when someone grabbed me. My arm spun faster than he could respond, and then I was holding his wrist with my left hand, my synth hand. Before he could react, I squeezed just enough to make his eyes bulge. "I said," I reiterated, allowing the pressure of my grip to provide the emphasis, "you are confused. I'm no assassin, and I don't take kindly to red flag operations or those who use them. Now leave me be." As I was about to let the man go, I realized I had been too slow. His bodyguards were already moving my way. I pushed the man in the ugly suit toward the closest, the one with the giant shoulder, and leapt at the other who was already reaching into his coat for a weapon. I reached him just before a small pistol cleared the holster under his arm. A quick jab to his elbow reholstered the gun, and I brought my left fist around to the side of his head. He slumped to the floor, momentarily stunned, and I figured I'd knocked the alignment off his ocular implant, which meant he'd need an external recalibration before he'd range right again. By then, the guy with the shoulder had untangled himself from his boss and was advancing with an expression somewhere between a scowl and a harsh grin. Judging from his massive arm, he was an adept brawler, and that wasn't something I wanted to deal with. So I reached for my warlock. The guy froze. I wasn't yet ready to draw it, not with the small crowd still in the bar, but I didn't feel like continuing the conversation either. Instead, I began backing toward the door. The man took a single step to follow, then stopped, eyeing something behind me. A glance over my shoulder confirmed there was a silver-haired figure standing in the doorway, my partner, Gloria. She stood with her sidearm unholstered, held low in a casual stance, promising imminent violence upon anyone who might pursue me. "Found a new client already, I see," she said. I assumed from her typically wry comment she'd seen the whole thing. Besides, at twice my age, she'd been in the fringe far longer than I had. She knew the signs of corporate security. "We won't be working for Aristeel," I growled as I moved past her out the doorway. She just nodded as she backed through the door herself. She didn't like overbearing corpse any more than I did, so the fact that she had to draw her gun was probably reason enough for her. The second job offer, that sub-rev, came in a few rotas later. Standard rotations, of course. I could never keep track of the local light-dark cycles. I mean, standard revolutions don't match any planet's orbital cycle, so why would anyone need their rotas to match? Anyways, the guy wasn't hard to spot. He was a little elderly man, less short than scrawny. He paused in the doorway and looked around with an air of confusion. When he locked eyes with me, he hurried across the room to where Gloria and I sat.